Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my copies.
And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kibbles and Pookie the Wolf's Squared Circle.
Squared circle.
Squared Circle, because that's what they call it in the ring. Did
That
you know
is
that,
what
Kibbles?
they call it, a squared circle.
Yes, he is Kibbles and I
Makes
am.
no sense.
He is Kibbles and I am Pookie. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about 2021. It's where I
Can
started.
you sound more like a robot right now? You're like,
or
we're gonna
doing-
talk about
You want me to
2021.
do an announcing voice? We're doing today.
No, I just meant like your pacing is very strange.
What we're doing today is this is really easy to do when I can hear myself. Today we're doing a review in 2021 wrestling. Let me do it. Obama?
Sure.
What we're doing today is simple. We're gonna do 2021. And then you gotta do the hand gestures. Simple. We're gonna do. I'm too close to the mic. It's simple. We'll do 2021.
I just meant like the way you were talking. You were like, we're gonna talk about
I can do all kinds of voices, Cable.
2021. Your pacing was very strange.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's all good though.
They're
It makes it entertaining.
Yes, and that's what I want to be. I want to be entertaining, kind of like wrestling.
Oh,
Segway. You see that?
Segway.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
I don't
man.
own one, but I'm good at doing them. So yeah, it's 2021. I got back in. I want to say in August. Now keep in mind, not to go back to the last episode, but Botchamania has been keeping me up to date with some stuff. Some stuff.
Love me some Botchamania.
I don't understand some people, but I'm like, okay, like the Bray Wyatt shit with the doll, or I'm sorry, not Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss. Her doll thing, that was kind of stupid, but
So I'll be honest, my favorite Botchamania stuff is the like ridiculous like people like falling over and stuff from like the indies and stuff. That's my favorite. Like
yeah,
like the meme stuff is like okay, but like that's not what
he'll play like some kind of video game music to
Yeah.
people doing stupid shit.
yeah,
or
that's like
jumping and falling.
yeah, that's like not what I tune into Botchamania for.
Or
not
like the
meme
ring breaks.
stuff.
I love the Simpsons memes.
I like them. They're not the reason I turn it on.
I love the Simpsons. The memes at the end are my favorite part. But yeah.
And it has
But
that
also-
explosion noise.
Also, the best is the just in general the stupid shit that WWE or AEW do.
Yep.
And they catch it.
Yep.
So,
So we're talking about stuff that happened in 2021. We're gonna rant about it and rave about it.
yeah.
So
Ooh,
I don't think that you can.
I like raving.
Oh, really?
Yes. I've never been to one, but
I don't think we can talk about WWE 2021 without talking about the fact that they released like almost 100 wrestlers.
I forgot about that. How did I forget about the biggest thing that they got
And-
criticism for?
And the fact that like if you look at like yes, there's a bunch of them that I'm like okay whatever, but like there's also a bunch of them that are like, dude,
I
like
think the most recent
you-
ones are the worst.
you fired Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, I think, out of anybody, Braun Strowman was the one that made the least amount of sense to me.
Especially since what their model is like
Yeah.
get the biggest motherfucker possible.
And he could work. He was entertaining. Bray Wyatt was another one that I was like, what?
That one's different though. That
How
one's
the
a different
fuck did they not? I don't. I legitimately am like, how do you fuck that up? He took everything they gave him and turned it into gold.
Yeah.
And then like they were just like, eh.
Yeah.
No, Bray Wyatt was the shit.
He
Aleister Black.
is. Did they release him?
Yep.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Here's the weird
Was
thing.
was that the beginning of the year kind of release?
Was
Was that when they were sending stuff back to
Yes.
people in their trash bags?
No, it wasn't. Oh
Because
yes.
I'd love to talk about that too.
Oh yeah, the Mickie James thing.
Oh my god.
And now she's going to be in the Royal Rumble,
Oh my god.
even though she's the Impact World Champ, the Impact Women's Champion.
Hey, Forbidden Door
Somehow.
isn't just one group.
WWE's like, wait a minute, we need to do
We
this
can't.
too.
Not everyone can't use the Forbidden Door, so it's it's
Yeah,
possible.
I saw. Yeah, so the trash bag thing, I saw that, and I was like, what?
Yikes.
The fuck?
That's where I was starting, like, and that was, I think, at the point where I wasn't watching. I don't think.
Probably not.
Because I was like, wow, that's fucked up. Regardless of who you are or what you're
Yeah.
watching, that's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Aleister Black thing was really weird because they released him, but they had been for weeks they had been playing Aleister Black returning promos on SmackDown, and he returned, attacked Big E, and then they released him like the next week. It was like, what?
What the fuck? Did he have like weed on him or something? Like what
No,
the fuck?
they just released him. He said in a podcast interview that when John Laurinaitis called him to release him, that Laurinaitis legit said, "Yeah, I don't understand why they're letting you go, and you're the one person on this like list that I'm releasing that like I don't get why. I don't understand."
Whew. So who is running that now? Is it's Vince? They have I hear all this talk about a guy named Nick Khan.
Yeah, I think he's the
Bruce
COO.
Bruce Pritchard, I think is, or whatever the guy's
think
name. Bruce
he's
Pritchard
head
is still
of-
part of it.
I think so. I think he's
Well,
talent
so-
creative, head of creative.
Head of creative.
I
Who's the
think
talent
so.
relations?
John Laurinaitis, I think.
John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, I
Didn't
believe so.
they get rid of one of the greatest people they could have had, but for some reason decided to
William
let him?
Regal?
No, not even him. I mean Jim Ross.
Oh, well, they had let Jim Ross go years ago.
That's what I mean, though. But in general, like, why would you ever?
Well, I
he's
also
the
think Jim
voice
Ross
of-
wanted to leave.
He's the voice of W. Well, he fought back. Like he was like, I don't agree with this.
Yeah,
And they're like, well, you're gone then.
I remember I read his biography, and I was like, yeah, some of this shit was kind of fucked up they did to him.
Yeah. Well, just the fact that like, when you think of WWE, you think of Jim Ross. Like, by God, like,
By
what the
God.
fuck are you doing? Like,
The greatest call of all time. His
It's-
body's broken in half. As God is my witness.
it's so. And then
They
that was the
killed him.
thing. Like, I was watching the review of AEW. Tony Schiavone and Aubrey Edwards go through their stuff, and they commented on the fact that the one match that they did where Jericho got thrown off the cage and it was a crash pad.
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, he was on a crash pad. We're looking at safety. I'm like, yeah, but you think about people who think about the Hell in a Cell match. There was nothing there.
Yeah.
He just got thrown off, which I'm like, yes, I get that would be more for safety. Chris Jericho, we don't want to die, nor have his tooth up in his nose.
yeah.
But
I totally get it. I totally understand it. I had no problem with the crash pad. Like
Yeah.
I saw him fall, and I was like, okay, this is a cool storyline. I want
I
to see
think-
where they go.
I think it doesn't matter. It's the fact that they like if they were to bring it up, you're like, just don't mention it. It happened. It was the match happened. It was a great match. Don't fucking sit there and go, yes, we know that there was a crash pad. We want to look for.
Yeah,
Don't bring
I
that
think-
up. Like, just forget it. Just be like, it's a good match.
I think they only brought it up because there was like so many like fans tweeting about it and stuff, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
The
Like,
man's-
heaven forbid they protect their performers.
The
you fucking
man's
dicks.
almost 50, or he is 50 now, but he probably wasn't. He was probably 49, 48 at that point.
Even if it was like some 20-year-old, like, okay, at least they're protecting their performers to the
Yeah.
best of their ability.
If anything, you should have more of a respect towards Chris Jericho to still do shit like that.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho is great, by the way. Never was a fan of him. Great guy.
Yep.
I think he deserves all the respect. It's like Edge, where like never really liked him too much, but I think he deserves all the respect as possible.
Judas in my mind.
Don't start.
It's a great song.
It is, but you don't have to sing it on our podcast.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you're right.
People might go off to go listen to that instead of this.
Well, I will say that I went to an AEW show a couple months ago.
What month was it?
I
Give
don't know.
us- give us a-
September.
What was the
I
match
think?
card?
I
Huh?
don't know.
Give
It was
us something.
September.
Huh? No?
Well, no, it was after.
Who was in the main event?
It was after All
What
Out.
did you have to eat for that night?
You shut the fuck up. The main event was the ladder match where Hangman Adam Page won and became the #1 contender.
How many times did you pee that day?
I didn't count.
Okay. You should
I never
start.
count that.
You should start. I don't know, 19?
It would have been September or October because the main event was the Elite, or the first match was the Elite versus Bryan Danielson. Who was his partners? It was him, Jurassic Express, and Christian.
Oh.
I think
Wow.
it was
How'd you
8-man
forget
8-man
Christian?
tag team. I don't know, 8-man tag team match, man.
I thought you were one of
And,
his peeps.
One of my favorite things I mean, there was a lot of really cool stuff that happened that night. One of the really fun parts was singing Judas with the crowd.
Well, no, I even explained it to my mom. I was like, "Do you know they still like they all sing this song?" Now during COVID, it was kind of like weird because it felt forced, but
Yeah. But like if they hadn't done that, if they hadn't like forced it during COVID, I think fans would have came back and they probably wouldn't have sang it because like it would have not been a thing.
yeah, that's true. It's pretty cool. The concept they still do it. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not even that big of a fan of the song. I'm like, it's still just cool every time you hear it. It's
Mhm.
it's the fact that like it's I mean it's like going to a concert, but still it's just like the fact that every time they would do it, they don't need to, but they still do it anyway. So
Yeah.
Le Champion.
Le Champion. What else happened in 2021, Darren?
Let's see. I forgot completely that somehow I forgot the releases.
WWE released. Yeah, someone did a total, and they released like 87 wrestlers or something like that. It was
Now
fucking
I have a question
insane.
because I don't have the numbers in front of me. But did they cancel? Did they fire Joe the first time this year, or did they do that the year before that?
No, they did that 2021.
Okay, great.
So
he
he's
got
been fired
twice.
He's been fired twice in like the span of like 6 months.
So fucking stupid. Samoa
So,
Joe of all people.
Samoa Joe.
He's above half that fucking roster, just from what he's done on TNA. He's fucking.
I think part of their issue with him was he was injured like twice. I think that was part of their
God
issue.
forbid.
And then they fired him, and Triple H rehired him as like a coach and some other stuff for NXT.
Well, if that's the case, you better watch out for Sasha Banks.
And now they seem to be getting rid of anybody that had anything to do with the original NXT.
Yep, that's fucking disappointing.
Also, I will say that if there's anybody in that company that they will desperately protect, it would be the Four Horsewomen.
I only know the two. I don't like one of them.
It's the Four Horsewomen of NXT. Becky,
NXT.
Charlotte, Bailey, and Sasha. I think
Okay,
WWE
yeah.
would do any. I think WWE would do anything within their power to keep the four of them, because I think there are definitely certain people WWE would be afraid of going to AEW, and I think one of the four of them is definitely it.
I don't know if you saw, because I know it's more this year, but did you watch the Sasha Banks getting hurt? There's a video of it.
No, I didn't see the
I
video.
think it was at a dark show, but
Yeah, it was at a non-televised.
she goes for like a tilt-a-whirl or something, and the way Charlotte lands her, you could tell she like the leg just like kind of lands wrong, and she like is like nope, can't do it, and she kind of like rolls off to the side. It's like nope, I'm in pain. I'm in lots and lots of pain, and then I don't know if you saw, but Attack of the Show. King Woods is just in a chair the whole time.
Woods is in a chair. He's hurt.
He's just sitting in the
4
chair.
to 6 weeks.
Yep. So maybe the bad news is that he won't be wrestling. The good news is he might be on Attack of the Show more. So
That's true.
that's good. He's always funny on there. But
So do you want to rant about something, or you want to rave about something for 2021?
I want to. I assume that how this will go is that we'll rant about WWE and we'll rave about AEW because they had a hell of a year.
They did have a hell of a year.
And fucking WWE is just letting people go. And my issue has always been when people are complaining. I see people complain about AEW. It's all like, they're like, WWE's just like one step ahead. They're just letting go of these people so that way Tony Khan doesn't know what to do with all of them. It's just like, I don't think that's what's happening. I think what they're doing is they're just losing the need for other people.
I think that it's a legitimate game plan.
You think so?
No, so let me finish.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think that could be a legitimate game plan. But do I think WWE's doing that? Absolutely not.
No, yeah, I don't think
Like could it be something that somebody would do to like flood the marketplace? Absolutely. And then maybe Tony Khan spends too much money trying to sign every single one of these people that get released. It's definitely a game plan that could happen. But I have zero faith. WWE's not doing that. They're not doing that.
This is what I thought of, and this is why I don't think this is why I have such faith in Tony Khan. the fact that because you said you don't watch it, but when I watch Elevation and watch Dark, you can tell that when they think that someone is good, they're gonna keep moving them up. Like there's a guy who's been fighting Anthony Ogogo. I think it's a silly name, but anyway.
Yeah, the British
Yeah.
boxer.
Yeah. So he's been fighting this guy named Baron Balor or something like that, and just they've fought at least 3 times. But I think that people in AEW think that this guy Baron is legitimately good. Granted, he has been not demolished, but has lost to Ogogo at least 3 times now, even in tag matches against the Factory. But they still keep putting him in matches with him. So like I think it's like with Lee Moriarty. They thought there was something there, and they keep, Now whether or not I agree with the whole concept of a lot of the talent is not being used. Like Jay Lethal's a big example of that.
It also depends on the type of contracts that they sign, right? Because like some performers have exclusive contracts, and other performers don't.
Yeah.
So like Moxley, he doesn't have an exclusive contract, which is why he was able to go and wrestle GCW. He's able to wrestle New Japan. But then there's guys like Kenny Omega. He has an exclusive contract. I don't think. I mean, now granted, if he went to Tony Khan and said I want to wrestle this place because I want to wrestle this guy for whatever reason, he probably would get it. But there are wrestlers who are under exclusive contracts and some that aren't. Another example is I think the Varsity Blondes might be under exclusive contracts, but like Aleister Black isn't. I'm pretty sure he's wrestled at, or at least appeared at, like PWG shows.
I think that's the thing too, because people think like, oh, Tony Khan is gonna do what, like they think that he's gonna do exactly what WWE is doing, and I'm like, that's not, like, he knows enough to be like, even Jim Ross is like, the kid's young but he's smart, he knows what he's doing.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? If you want to try to be WWE light, then you're gonna get outplayed by the big dog. It's just what's gonna happen. They have such a head start on you and all this, but I think he recognizes that while they are trying to continue to get the eye of the casual fan, that their core audience is the hardcore fan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a perfect example of it, where it's very much a thing where it's. I think honestly the hardcore fan is more faithful, but when it comes down to it, I think what I enjoy the most about AEW is that the storytelling is thought out. It's, even if it takes forever, it's not just some weird thing where like they'll have a gimmick going on and the next minute it's like gone. There's been sometimes when they do that, but for the most part they try to stick to something. It's like the fact that they could do that with Hangman Adam Page for however long to be,
Yeah, well, that's so I understand from a corporate perspective. I understand what WWE. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I understand kind of, or I think there's a better way to do it. I understand what they want, right? They want the casual fan because there are more casual fans than there are hardcore fans. And if you cater to the hardcore fans and you turn off the casual fans, then there's only such a level of stardom and fandom that you can expect to achieve. So I understand from a business perspective why they cater more towards.
My concept though is that the hardcore fans are going to be loyal if you give them, like, if you act like you're hearing what they want. You know what I mean? Which comes in the problem. It's just like,
right. Well,
casual fans could leave whenever.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
oh, I'm done with this.
That's the thing, right? There's a difference. I mean, there's a way to go for a casual audience while also rewarding the more hardcore fans.
Yeah.
There's a way to do that. I don't think they're doing it very well. So I'll throw out another rant point. I believe it was 2021, because I don't think it was the end of 2020. I think it was like March, April of 2021 was when WWE put out their verdict that they wanted to take everybody's Twitch and YouTube and all that, and you can't. We want to cut, and we tell you if you're allowed to do it, and the money that you would make goes towards your downside and all that
Who was
stuff.
the big one? It was Vega, right?
Selena Vega was one of the. Well, she was the only one that fought back against it.
And then didn't they gave shit to somebody else?
Well, they gave shit to a lot of people. She was the only one that actively fought back against it, though. Paige kind of did too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Paige was a big one too.
Paige fought back against it, but not quite to the like. Paige fought back a little bit, and she was like, "I'm gonna stream or kind of try to be screw you." Vega was like, "Okay, here's my Twitch. I'm gonna go start a OnlyFans on purpose because that's one that you said you don't want us to do." Like she actively
Yeah, it's still fucked up. They should be able to. It's not like they're performing. They're
they
not
fired her. She got released, and then I think it was 4 or 5 months later they brought her back.
Was there backlash to that? Like the
when she got released, yeah.
Because of the fact that she wasn't able to do what she wanted to.
Yeah, well, they had already had backlash because of the other.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they were telling superstars to.
And I don't understand that because isn't Xavier Woods' thing going pretty strong? Didn't
Correct, but I think WWE was already a part of that.
Okay. So
they have up down down merch on WWE Shop.
Okay.
So I think WWE was a proponent of that.
See, I didn't follow that whole thing. So
yeah, WWE was a proponent of that, which I think is why up down down continued. And like I said, there was up down down merch on WWE Shop. So I think WWE was a contributor to it. Well, because if they're doing that, then they're making money. WWE was seeing it as the performers were using WWE's intellectual property by using their personas and their ring names or whatever was
But were they staying kayfabe with it? I don't get it.
No. WWE is it's just a money grab. It's just a money grab.
But that's that's what I'm saying. With up down down, why is it a big do they want someone to be well, we'll start the matchup in this Tekken game or Super Smash Brothers once we can get these two people to not hate each other so much to not punch each other
No, I don't think there's any desire to do that. I think it's 100% money grab. They see superstars were making money off of it, and they said, "Well, wait, we want part of that. We want that money because you're using star power that we gave you."
But that's what I'm saying. It's silly to be I assume and I know for a fact that Charlotte and Becky are best friends, but they're oh well, we need everyone to hold him back and get him sitting down in front of a controller so he can get him to fight.
I don't think.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen, I don't think there was any. There's no intention of doing that. It was purely
It was never ruining the immersion.
No. Yeah. No. It was for example, I'm just going to use round numbers. I'm not saying this is what they made.
It wasn't immersion. It was just give us money and then we're okay with it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to use round numbers. I'm not saying this is what he made, but let's say AJ Styles did streaming on, or Selena Vega did streaming on Twitch.
I thought you were going to say
and she
AJ
made
Styles OnlyFans.
As an OnlyFans. And say she was making $2,000 or let's say $5,000. She was making $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, WWE is oh well, she's making that because we made her famous, so we deserve the money.
Understand.
What they want to do is they want to have control over it, so they can say who can stream and who can't stream, and then they want to be able to say all of the subscription and all that money goes to us, and then we pay you a percentage of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, and that percentage that we pay you goes towards your downside for merch and stuff. So basically, superstars would be not making money.
That's fucking stupid. That being said, I would, not to sound misogynistic, I'd pay $10 to see Selena Vega's butthole.
Me too.
The fact that you're ready to just right away, just me too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't feel
anyway.
I don't feel like WWE had a lot of positive press in the.
And you know what?
In the new year, it also didn't help that. It also doesn't help that they were doing all of the releases stating budgetary constraints as the reason, and then every quarter they were like, it was the most profitable quarter, and then the next quarter they're like, we made even more money. The next quarter we made even more money.
Look how much money we made. Oh, by the way, we had to get rid of people because of budget things.
Yeah, like
do
the
you think-
budgetary constraints had no
Okay.
the budgetary constraints had no bearing on actual money they were making. It was because someone somewhere decided we're only spending this much money on talent.
But a part of that, I think that's Nick Khan. But a part of that, do you think that they have a monopoly mentality? Like they're not a monopoly right now because AEW is making a far better product, in my opinion.
I think they did at one point.
Do
They
you think
had
they
that
still
mentality.
Have that monopoly mentality? Like they're like, oh well, you know, they're just little guys. We're doing. Where else are you gonna go? Like that kind of concept.
I think they did. I don't know that they do anymore.
By the end of this year, you don't think they did?
I don't know that. I don't know that they have. I don't know that they feel like they're a monopoly anymore.
They shouldn't. I feel like I don't know. I don't.
And I think AEW consistently. Now, granted, there were numerous times where it was like close, or there were also like 2 or 3 times where NXT won. But like throughout that entire battle, AEW won every. Like I think there was 3 weeks where NXT won, and other than that, AEW beat them every single week.
Yeah. See, this is the thing with me. I don't want WWE to stop doing what they're doing. I don't want them to get, lose. I want them to just make a better product that feels like actual wrestling and not some silly shit. I explained my complaints with, and this was from this year, and after this we'll get into this 2021 big highlights and problems. I mean, we've been talking to them with the releases, but the fact that this year they had Orton and fucking bro dude, whatever the fuck the guy's name is. I don't like him. I don't like Riddle.
Oh, you don't like Arcade Bro?
I don't fuck like.
It's one of the few things I like.
I don't like Riddle. I don't mind them as a group. It's whatever.
I don't like. I think Arcade Bro is one of the few things I really enjoyed this year.
Okay.
This past year.
Orton is a legend, regardless. Now, ironically, he is a legend. Because he used to be a legend.
Legend killer.
Yeah,
I get it.
Okay. But the fact that Otis could body slam him and pin him for a 3 count to win the tag team titles made it fucking stupid.
That was really weird.
I was like, oh, did they hit him with something? And I went back and watched. No, he just threw him in the turnbuckle. He came back, picked him up, slammed him. 1, 2, 3. Riddle was outside the ring.
Do you think maybe he learned it from Mark Henry, and that's why? Like, he was like, Mark Henry taught me the world's strongest slam. Because Henry used to beat people with the slam.
Yeah, but Mark Henry hasn't been there in how long?
So maybe he taught him. Go with my theory, you jackass.
What was it? Who was the one? Alberto Del Rio's announcer.
Ricardo Rodriguez.
He said that Vince once told him to be more ethnic or more Hispanic or something.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like, what do you like? It seems like such a fucking conglomerate company. Like, and like I said, I want to give him a chance. But like when you screw out fucking Orton for these tag team titles now, and then Big E, that's one of my biggest problems with them now. That Big E bullshit. That's what I'm gonna call it, Big E bullshit. I'm at the point where I'm like, Big E should just go to AEW because the guy's a good wrestler. He's funny. He can do so much, and they just don't care. They're like, oh, we got Brock Lesnar, or whoever the fuck that guy is. Take the title away from him.
Well, I think that happened as a last minute change up because Roman got the vid. Got the COVID. He got the vid.
Don't call it the vid.
Why not?
It sounds like he's got a video. He's got the vid,
He got the vid.
He's too busy making vids.
He got the vid.
So,
and now he's gonna fight Bobby Lashley.
Something you showed me in I'm just flexing. Don't make fun of me.
Pookie's flexing.
So something you showed me in the 4 or 5, 6 months. Wait, 4 months? August to December of 2021. 5 months, whatever. August. Since August, when I started watching AEW again, you said, what was it? You said something about, I don't know how it came up, but you were like, hey, you should watch the St. Patty's Day Lights Out match, which, on both accounts, both wrestlers, Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, fucking phenomenal. And it's not so much, they don't do anything innovative. They don't do anything that's changing the revolution. It's not a revolutionary thing. But the fact that these two women could go and not, like, when was the last time you saw blood on WWE? From a woman, nonetheless. Like, what, Becky Lynch when she got her nose punched?
Yeah, probably.
That was probably the only time I could think of where I was like, just fucking let him bleed. And I mean, what was the rule where like they have to like stop the match when someone starts bleeding? That wasn't even a match. They were just brawling, and then she got punched in the face. She's like, whatever, I'm still going. Like, that was one of the things too that if you listen to this podcast, you'll hear that I love the man. I love her. I think she's a person who should be just. I mean, even WWE recognizes that she's good, but I just feel like she.
Did you see on SmackDown last night? They're doing Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the championship at the Royal Rumble.
I did see that.
And he was like, if I wanted to main event against a real headliner, I would main event the Royal Rumble against your wife.
Jesus Christ.
It was very well done. I was like, oh shit. Because he started off by saying like, you're not even the biggest headliner in your own house. And I was like, oh shit.
It's so weird though what they're doing now.
The promo was good.
But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Fucking a dream match of mine would be, for me, Britt Baker versus the man, or Becky Lynch. Becky two belts, big time Bex, whatever the fuck you want to call her. I don't know what Ric Flair has a trademark on or whatever the fuck he's got. But or the man versus Sheeta, because those are my two favorites. Britt Baker Britt Baker's a phenomenal heel, especially, and she's a great wrestler. But I just love Sheeta, just because Sheeta just seems like a very good technical wrestler. I haven't even seen, like, she's been barely wrestling since I've watched, but I just love her.
Yeah, she was really big in 2020.
Yeah.
She was the champ.
I mean, there's Nyla Rose, the Bunny, Ty Conti. There's just so many fucking good female wrestlers, and
they have a lot of good female wrestlers. I feel like they don't do a great job. So here's one of my gripes with AEW. I don't think they do a great job with booking their women's division.
I agree.
And I feel like part of it is because they have such a star-studded male division that they usually tend to only put one women's segment per show, and I feel like it does a little bit of a disservice because they have so many like incredible women, and I feel like there's a lot of times where like the women just aren't doing anything. They're just in a match to be in a match.
Did you hear about Freddie Prinze Jr. what he said? He said that AEW should have a female show, like just a female show.
I
like
could see that.
And I'm like, I mean, the guy. Granted, he was in a movie where he played Fred from the Scooby-Doo gang, but he has wrote for WWE for a while.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the answer. Maybe it's not. But I do feel like AEW doesn't do their women's division enough justice.
So this is a problem I have with AEW. We don't, and I mean, they might have done that plenty of times in the past before I started watching, but I barely see enough, like, it's always like one guy versus one guy. Can we get some fucking fatal four-ways, some triple threats?
Yeah, I've noticed they don't do it a lot, and they don't do it a lot, I think, on purpose.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah. I mean, to me, it seems like a very conscious effort to not do that.
Because I know there was Omega, Orange, and somebody else.
And Pac.
Yeah.
That's the only multi-man match for the championship they've ever had, which I think is fine. I think for your main championship, like having a triple threat or a fatal four-way or whatever should be a very infrequent thing.
I just want to see that. I just want to see.
I think it'd be cool, but I also think for the championship, it should be an infrequent thing. Well, because I think one of the reasons why they don't have it for the championship all the time is because they have the ranking system or whatever. Like, I think because they want to stay away from the WWE adage of the champion comes out, the champion attacks the challengers in a number one contendership match, and then they're like, well, we're just going to fight all of them.
Well,
and that's like such a trope.
the thing that I don't get is like, especially with the TNT title, where it's just like, oh, people can just come out and challenge him. It's like you're like, oh, I'm gonna challenge this guy now. Like, well, why can't fucking Cody Rhodes and fucking this guy and this guy just go like, yeah, let's have a fatal 4-way, and then have Sammy come out on top again or whatever, whoever fucking wins. And
I think it'd be cool. I think it works when it's controlled.
when
I feel like WWE does it a lot.
no, I get
Or
you.
they used to do it a lot,
understand what
and
you
I
mean,
think
though, yeah.
that is why AEW stayed away from it.
Part of it too is like that thing, like with the Christmas Day, how they had Cody win the TNT championship. That would have been a perfect example of why Cody Rhodes had won. To keep on doing Cody Rhodes versus Sammy.
Yeah.
Like to be like, oh well, fucking I don't know, Orange Cassidy was in it too, or fucking Jay Lethal was in it too. Because then you're still using Jay Lethal. The biggest gripe I hear all the time is Jay Lethal's not used enough, and I completely agree with it. If this guy is such a veteran, why aren't we fucking putting him in more matches?
Well, so here's the thing, right?
Besides people saying that it's because he's black, I'm like, that's not the reason.
Yeah, so like Jay Lethal came in, and I'm like, okay, I get it, but like, I also feel like they
have too many.
I don't know, like Jay Lethal was on, and he helped Dante Martin.
Yeah.
This past Dynamite, and so I think he's going to get into something with Team Taz.
Well, good.
Which is good.
Last night he called out Ricky Starks. I don't know if you watched it.
Okay, no, I didn't see that.
For the win title.
Okay.
Is it called For the Win, or is it just FTW?
FTW.
Is it supposed to be For the Win?
No.
Okay, good. Because I thought it was For the Win, and I'm gonna keep calling it that.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Fuck the World.
Okay, cool.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for.
In my head, For the Win is what FTW means.
Oh, no.
In gaming terms.
I'm pretty sure it's Fuck the World.
Okay. Well, FTW should go Jay Lethal.
So I think they're building him in, and they're doing something with him. I think one of the things AEW is trying to stay away from is signing someone and then not doing something with them, even if it means. So like I think AEW has an active mindset to say, if we don't have something specific that we're doing for you, we're going to keep you off TV, as opposed to keeping you on TV and have you do nothing.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Which has its good points and its bad points.
That being said,
who knows? Jay Lethal may have also had other contractual obligations that kept him from being on the show on a consistent basis until now.
Well, this last week he was tagged up with Sonny Kiss, and they did great.
Yeah,
they squashed a bunch of nobodies, but still.
Because the only reason he's even here is because ROH released everybody.
Yeah.
So like maybe there was like certain like he could appear that one time, and then he couldn't until his contract was up or something.
Okay, so this is the thing I get an issue with is people complain. They go, oh well, Jay Lethal isn't being used. It's because we don't have any black championships. Whatever. That's a fucking stupid excuse for complaining. But the fact that you would go and say, oh, Jay Lethal shouldn't be here at AEW. Do you think he'd do any better at WWE? You think he'd really get any fucking...
No.
Exactly.
And he wouldn't even be looked at because they have zero interest in signing indie talent. They want talent that has no experience, and they will teach them how to wrestle.
Even if they've never wrestled before.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody they're signing has zero wrestling.
I know exactly what you mean. So I was like, yeah, no one's going to be... I know exactly where you're going.
They have no interest right now. They have no interest. It's one of the reasons, I believe, one of the reasons William Regal got fired. One of his main jobs was scouting talent at indie shows and stuff. I think that's one of the reasons he got let go. They have zero interest in signing indie talent.
Anyway, we've gotten so far off of this 2021.
Even technically it's happened in 2021, right? Like they started firing a bunch of people. They came down with the edict that they have no interest in indie talent. Like that all happened in 2021.
I don't understand where they're like, we're gonna get real buff people and make this fucking super real and make people that never wrestled before, or make the big dudes people who are legitimately huge. Like I see Bobby Lashley, love Bobby Lashley, but I see him always at the top. I see Roman Reigns always at the top. Brock Lesnar. You'll never see Rey Mysterio get that title again. That was on a fluke. Like that, as fucked up as it sounds, thank God Eddie Guerrero died, because Rey Mysterio probably would have never got the fucking title because of it. I don't think he'll ever get in a title situation ever again. You know why? Because those are the smaller guys who are, or either you're too small or you're too big, like Khali or Big Show or whoever, to be like, oh yeah, I just demolish people and then leave, or I'm made to be the joke, or whatever the fuck they did with Khali. Didn't he wear a tutu at one point?
Probably. I mean, Khali couldn't. do anything.
He couldn't wrestle,
physically.
but you know what I mean.
He was a big son bitch though.
But I love it. They're like, well, we have to have big muscular guys because that's not, if we didn't and they had some small guy beating people, that's not realistic. Oh, you mean a company that had a fucking guy who was a dead living person was destroying everybody? Yeah, no, we want realism in this business. Or a guy who wore a mask and had a Pee Wee Herman-esque show that was supposed to be slightly creepy. No, yeah, we want realism here. Like,
and Bray Wyatt made that thing so interesting.
do you think
There
that's what they're
legit
doing?
there legit was a time period where like that was the only thing that I looked forward. I was like Raw was over. The next day, the first thing I wanted to see was what happened with Bray Wyatt.
Do you think that's what they're doing though? Do you think they're going to try to get away from the Undertakers and the Bray Wyatts and the silly
Probably.
the sci-fi concept of it, or
Probably.
the fiction part of everything? Because
Probably.
didn't it's just frustrating. It's so frustrating to be sitting here and doing to look at what they have going on and be like, it's just some fucking. It's frustrating. It's literally frustrating me thinking about it. To think about all the people they fired, and go, we're just gonna fucking focus on how big a motherfucker is, and give him all the fucking title shots that he wants, and be like, yes, that's what wrestling is. Like, why don't they just fucking? This is what you do, okay? I'm gonna set the goal right now for WWE for the end of this year, okay? Just put that shit. Get rid of the mat, or get rid of the ring. Just put a mat down and just have them legitimately Greco-Roman wrestle, because obviously they just want big dudes who are just fucking tangling up with each other. Just do that shit, because why the fuck would you bother in having a pro wrestling feel if you're not going to bother to like I said, and I said with the last episode, Jim Cornette says that none of this shit, all this shit's stupid, Dino douche, all this other shit, like it's stupid shit they do. He calls Kenny Omega Twinkle Toes because all the stupid shit he does. But isn't pro wrestling the concept of trying to break that feeling of doing something that's beyond belief, or just doing something that wouldn't be normally? I know people don't like to hear it, but it is fake in the story writing. It's not like fucking Becky Lynch can't stand being in a room with Charlotte Flair. It's the concept of like, yeah, I'm aware that people get hurt and people do real things, but the fake concept of the writing, like, you're not making anything interesting. You're not doing anything fun. You're not doing anything.
Yeah. Notable names that WWE released this year.
Go,
or this
please.
past
Thank
year.
you. I wanted to get that out, but I wouldn't know what the
Notable names. John Morrison.
Oh, God, that's right. What the fuck?
They released all of whatever the name of that group was that Isaiah Swerve Scott was a part of. They literally were on.
Wasn't that one guy in that? He was in the show about them finding the treasures, all on A&E. There's a show where they had like they went and takes.
Oh, I don't know if he was on that. I only saw
He
the
was
Undertaker one.
He was the dude that went with them. He was part of that group.
Oh, was
the
he?
big dude. He was a part
Top
of that
Dollar?
group. I guess I don't know what his
I think it
wrestling
was
name
Top Dollar.
But he was the guy who went with whatever wrestler it was. Like, he went with Sergeant Slaughter and
Okay.
Kane and Undertaker. And I'm like, oh, they got rid of that guy? What
They,
are they going to do for season 2?
They so those guys got caught up to SmackDown, and like 2 weeks later got dropped.
Gone, yeah.
Yep. Keith Lee.
Because they were black. No. Keith Lee, oh my God. Keith Lee is so good. He's just like Kevin Owens, where like he's such a big dude, but you're like, how the fuck did he do that? Like, Keith Lee is so great. And I'm so mad I didn't watch him when he was in WWE. Like, I watched the Survivor Series with the NXT SmackDown Raw.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic. And then Roman Reigns at the end, like, shakes his hand. He's like, that was good. That was good.
I think one of the cooler WWE moments for him was when he came out in the Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar was like, "Oh shit!" Like Lesnar they caught him on camera. He was like, "Oh shit!" He's a big dude.
He's good, dude.
And they gave him a cool little moment there.
But they didn't get like injured a bunch, and then he just released him.
He got injured, and then he had some lung complications from COVID.
Oh shit!
So he was out for a number of months with that, and he came back, and he was back for like 3 weeks, and then they dropped him.
Jesus Christ. He's
Karrion
good.
Kross and Scarlett.
Oh, you mean that was the dominatrix guy, right?
Yes.
I love the tweet where it's like, "You think we can get that mask?" He's like, "Listen, brother, nobody wants that
Nobody
mask,
wants that
right?"
mask. He was recently on
I know what
what's her
you're talking
name?
about.
What's her name's podcast, and he was talking about that,
Renee?
and yeah, he was talking about that. He was talking about how they called him up, and he got in the ring, and he was supposed to have a 10-minute match with Jeff Hardy, and literally while he was in the ring, the referee was like, "We're gonna come back from commercial break, and you guys need to end this in 90 seconds."
What for?
I don't know. I guess their time was getting cut for something else.
Okay. They're like, we have a fucking another monologue by Roman Reigns. We have to cut it short.
Yeah, perhaps you, Nia Jax, do you think this is a big loss?
Listen, I love giving people opportunity, but she has shown time and time again that she is not meant to be.
What about her hole?
Yeah, her hole was pretty damaged. Especially during COVID, where like she
think
got
so.
because like everyone heard it. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't a doubt that you
They
said
turned it into something
you said
too.
my hole.
Yeah.
And then they had her slip on some shit. Like that's what I mean. Like
Fall and say my hole again. Yeah.
yeah, there was plenty of times she could have did something good, but I don't think they gave her the opportunity. I think she became into a joke when she like. Do you think that my hole wasn't originally like? Was it supposed to be? Because who yells that?
I don't know.
Like I think that's she's like, yeah, we're just gonna turn Nia Jax into a fucking joke, and she's gonna fall, land on her cheeks, and go my hole.
My hole.
That seems like such a fucking setup thing to do. Like now that I think about it, like the second time, I'm going, maybe the first time was supposed to be set up too, because they obviously didn't have that much faith in her.
No.
And I don't think Charlotte Flair liked her either. But yeah, go ahead.
Ember Moon.
I have not watched her wrestle, but I've seen her.
Oh. Bobby Fish.
I mean, he's off in a better place now, so it's fine. He's all right.
Yeah.
They didn't. No one's wasting him now.
Yeah. No. Okay. Nobody else in this big patch. I mean, other than it's broken out by when they were released.
Oh, that's perfect.
Other than Bronson Reed, which was a weird one because they were like pushing him on NXT, and he was like the champion. Like he was the North American champion. He lost the title, and then like a week later they released him.
Wow.
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, yes, of course. We were upset by that. I listen. I'm not a huge fan of him. I never was, even with the the
Dude, I fucking
Swamps?
loved everything about
the
Bray
swamp
Wyatt.
cult, whatever.
Oh, dude, the Swamp Cult could have been so amazing, and they just like they fucked that up
They
so
have
bad.
to look at experience because this man's been wrestling for forever.
Part of his problem, I think, part of his problem was he was not allowed as the Swamp Leader. He never won like any feud he was in.
Well, yeah, I mean he was mostly a bad guy, right?
It doesn't matter. He should have won some feuds. He should have cultivated some people into his cult.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like
I
the whole
get you.
Daniel Bryan thing, when like Daniel Bryan was like, okay, like he like got Daniel Bryan to join his cult,
He
and
looks the part.
then a couple weeks later, like Daniel Bryan like fought back out of it and stuff. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the times they missed opportunity with him.
Yeah. So Tyler Breeze.
You liked him.
I love Tyler Breeze.
I watched him
He's
on Up,
so
Up, Down,
good.
Down, but
He's
that's
so
about
good.
it.
And Fandango, those two guys together.
They've released Fandango?
Yeah.
I had no fucking clue.
Dude, those two guys together, amazing. The Fashion
watched-
Police.
Yeah, I watched
Oh.
an interview with CM Punk, or not CM Punk, Chris Jericho. And he was saying how he was like so pissed off to do WrestleMania against Fandango.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
And part of it was because he was sold on coming back for something else.
Yeah.
Ryback, I think it was.
and then he the best part was that he goes, I called Undertaker up and he goes, Vince McMahon wants me to do this thing. And he goes, all right, well, then do it. And he goes, you're working for him, right? And he's like, yeah. He goes, just do the match. He's like, just make him look good. He's like, that's all you got to do. And he was like, I loved wrestling Fandango, but
Yeah.
the concept of having to wrestle this dancing character was stupid. I was like,
Yeah, and they definitely wanted it and definitely part of the want for that was because Jericho had just come off of doing Dancing with the Stars.
that's stupid. So fucking stupid. But go ahead.
Aleister Black,
He, again, in a good place now, so that's fine.
Buddy Murphy.
I don't think I've ever heard of him.
Oh, he's good.
Buddy,
Braun
Buddy Murphy?
Buddy Murphy.
No, I don't think I've ever watched him. I'm probably sure I've seen him.
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman's a fucking dumbass move.
Ruby Riott,
Well, I mean, again, she's in a better place now too.
aka Ruby Soho. She
Yeah.
apparently got the okay. She's friends with the.
There's a
yeah.
clip of it where like he says it right there.
Oh,
He's
does
like, you could use the, and she's like about to break down in tears. She's like I was, and I watched the clip. She starting to get ready to cry because she's like, don't fucking play with me right now. He's like, no, I can do it. I can make it happen.
Velveteen Dream. I think so. There's like some controversy around him just because of like what may or may not have happened with people that were underage. Like apparently there was like some tweets where he was being a little like too.
Was that grooming?
Yeah. But there's also some question around whether it was actually him or not.
Okay.
So apparently it was like coming from a Velveteen Dream Instagram, but like I don't, and don't quote me. I'm not saying this is what happened, but like I thought I had read somewhere that like the team that like took the screenshots, like it showed that like it didn't have the verified check mark, and he has the verified check mark on his Insta, so like they're like it's not him.
Let's just give him another chance. Same with Ric Flair. Let's give him another chance. Not like we have proof of that, right?
Yeah, right. So, and I think Velveteen Dream was like someone who like could be a huge main event star, but I think he's pretty much done.
Unlike Velveteen Dream, Ric Flair will probably be back in a year or so. So
yeah, I think
fine.
Velveteen Dream is done.
That's upsetting.
Mickie James.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna have her in the Rumble, right?
Yep. She went to Impact.
Well, that's good. I was surprised Melina was in Impact.
Yep.
I was like, I didn't even know she was still wrestling.
Samoa Joe.
That it's so weird because it's like back when you used to watch TNA, which I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't watch TNA, but the three, Samoa Joe, Styles, and Daniels, it's so weird to see them in different places now.
Mm-hmm.
Like one is two of them were in WWE, and then Christopher Daniels was in AEW for. I mean, he's been on and off. I mean,
yeah,
I saw him on Being Elite, their most recent episode, but I think he's definitely somewhere backstage, right?
He's doing a lot of stuff backstage. He's pretty much retired at this point, but he's also older than
the other
two
he's
of
been
them.
doing it for a while.
He's in his 50s.
I always think that Samoa Joe was done because he was announcing, but I'm like, oh wait, he's just injured.
He was announcing because he was injured. Yeah,
that's interesting.
he wasn't passing concussion protocol, I think.
Yikes.
Or that was part of it. I think I can't remember.
I'm sorry, on a slight tangent. The other day I texted you about how I feel like they're hinting at Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe. The reason was because they did Serpico. Serpico was part of in one of the dark matches with Matt Hardy and one of the members of Private Party, Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a point where Serpico went to jump off and they did the Samoa Joe like move out of the way thing and just let him fall on his face. And I was like, no, that's too like breaching. But like the Jeff Hardy stuff, I'm like, they were doing poetry in motion. They were doing.
I feel like I feel like Hardy's coming, and I feel like they started the storyline to getting him to come on Dynamite this week.
Yeah, with Andre.
Yeah,
Andrade.
Where he was like, "Oh yeah, come talk to me." He was like, "Yeah, come talk to me," and Hardy was like, "Private Party, you guys like hang back."
Yeah.
I think what ends up happening is like Andrade like screws him and works with Private Party, or Private Party attacks Matt, and Andrade just leaves him, and so then that'll lead to Jeff coming.
I found it interesting for them to go. He's a heel, but then he's gonna go with Andrade and become another heel. Like it's like, oh, he's gonna just be a heel too, but then leave these guys and then.
Well, yeah, I think he's gonna leave them. They're gonna like jump him, and Andrade won't save him, and so then he'll pull in. So then Jeff will come out and be the one who saves him.
Yeah.
And
Jeff's ready. Jeff's like ready to fucking go. But yeah, go ahead.
Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. The Iconics.
Nope, not a clue.
Kalisto, who was supposed to be the new Rey Mysterio.
Or like Sin Cara.
After Sin Cara was not the new Rey Mysterio.
Nope.
Andrade.
He is fantastic. Even watching him on Dark or Elevation, fantastic. I love when he wrestles. I think he's a good, just all around good wrestler. Did you see that they had? Did you watch the big one that they did for the end of the year, the Dark? They had Cargill, Lucha Brothers, Cargill, Jurassic Express, and Hangman Adam Page all on the card for the Dark episode.
Oh, okay. I don't know why you said Dark,
I might have
and I
said
thought.
Elevation.
Well, no, I don't know why you were saying that, and I was thinking Dark Side of the Ring on Vice.
No.
I don't know why though.
They did.
That's why I was like, "What are you talking about?"
A long hour episode where they had Hangman in the main event, with the Dark Order against Private Party or HFO or whatever with Serpico, because I guess they couldn't find another member of HFO. But they had that at the main event, and they had Cargill fight. Fuck, who'd they fight? Who'd she fight? Sky Blue. Just destroyed Sky Blue.
Yeah.
I love Sky Blue, but she got destroyed. And then Lucha or the Jurassic Express fought. I forget who. A tag team that's not too big.
Okay. And then three notable contracts expired. They chose not to renew. Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, and Kyle O'Reilly.
Huh. Where are they at now?
They're at AEW.
Oh, okay.
And all of them chose to let their contracts expire so they could go to AEW.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, there's a rumor that apparently one of the things Daniel Bryan wanted to do before he's like done is he wants to wrestle in do at least one more match in New Japan, or like fight in the G1 Cup. And I think it's the G1 Cup. And so apparently they wanted to keep him so bad that they the rumor is that
Talking about WWE?
Yeah, the rumor is WWE wanted to keep Daniel Bryan so bad that they actively discussed allowing him to sign his new contract, and in the contract allow him to go do a couple matches with New Japan. Which I'm like, holy shit.
Like I said, I think that the fact that if WWE can start using the forbidden door and whatnot, if they can start doing that, I don't think they'll be that big of a if they start being open to other things and not feel, like I said, I feel
they need to do something interesting.
There's a chip. I feel like ever since Bret Hart, I feel like there's been such a chip on Vince's shoulder of being like, you can't let anyone else go anywhere else, otherwise they're gonna fucking screw you over, and like just be like, can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, now they don't care. They're firing people left and right.
Yeah. But that's what I mean, like the fact that.
Well, they're firing people that I guess they don't think are stars.
Yeah.
I guess.
And they played
which
off.
is crazy because Bray Wyatt. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's a star if there ever was one.
They played off that though with the CM Punk thing about him leaving with the title. They played off that. It's just like the concept of.
Oh yeah, they fucked that up.
Yeah, you don't want a guy to go fucking to another company with the title.
They fucked that up. He was back the next fucking week.
Yeah.
They couldn't wait. They couldn't wait. Which is
because they were
insane.
worried. I'm telling you, like I think that's a thing with Vince. He's got such a feeling of someone screwing him over in some type of way to be like, no, I need to be ahead of the game and have all the cards.
So one thing that was interesting was I had listened to, or I do listen to a podcast, and at one point when there was like all of these, I think it was when they like had done the 4th set of releases, and the one podcaster was like, he's like, I'm not saying they're selling, but like this is like you're like, and they're like also firing people and combining different departments and stuff backstage, and he's just kind of like, this is what you do when you're trimming the fat because you're getting ready to sell the company.
You think Fox is gonna buy him?
I don't know that anybody's gonna buy him, and I don't know that that's what they're doing, but he was just like, just so you know, like he's like, I see things in the business world, and like that's what you do when you're getting ready to sell the company. You trim the fat and you combine some stuff so your profits are as high as possible, so that way you can sell and make the most amount of money. I don't know that that's what they're doing, but and especially because I, for the longest time, have always believed that you would have to wrestle that away from Vince, that like he would like die.
Well,
you know, to keep the
that was
company.
the biggest thing for me. I thought that was gonna be Triple H. I thought he was gonna be taking over. I thought it was gonna be.
It really doesn't seem like it now, though.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking to think. Like, I actually legitimately feel upset and bad for Triple H because it's like, who does it now? Like, who? If Vince just drops dead tomorrow, who takes over?
Whoever's the highest bidder. Oh, if he drops dead.
I want you to think. I
No,
want
if he
you to
drops,
say
if he drops dead tomorrow, Nick,
who takes the
Nick
reins.
Khan.
Nick Khan. That's what I'm saying. Why isn't it Triple H?
I don't know.
Why isn't Paul stepping in
Did
there?
you see the? Did you see the? Well, he's had some health problems recently.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Did you see the? Did you see the meme where they showed? It was recently when they fired all the like backstage people like William Regal and Samoa Joe and all that stuff from
Road Dogg,
NXT.
by the way, you forgot
Road
to
Dogg.
mention. That
Yeah.
was one that I think is going to go
Yeah.
to AEW.
Did they did you see they did that? And then there was like a meme. It was like we're firing all these people, and the meme underneath it was a picture of Triple H, and it was like Paul Levesque is all elite.
No, I didn't see that.
It was
good.
hilarious.
Oh my god.
It would never happen, but it was hilarious.
That was yeah. I thought about that plenty of times. Where I'm like, that would be awesome, but it would never happen.
Also, random thought. So Daniel Bryan is all elite, but his wife is wrestling in the Royal Rumble. Like she's still a WWE like legend contract, and also his
Was it father-in-law
Breeze,
or something
yeah,
like that?
Breeze mom married John Laurinaitis, so like
Yeah.
his father-in-law is talent relations.
Yeah. Well, because, yeah, Acclaim, I asked you about that, too, where it's like, Acclaim mentioned it, and I'm like, who is his, and they're like, oh, it's, what's your
John
brother?
Laurinaitis.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
But it's
The
just,
Acclaim, something, it's something.
that's so upsetting, though, because of the fact that,
That's another reason why you can be like, yeah, he definitely wanted to leave because not only was he leaving a big money contract, he was also like leaving his family.
yeah,
He was like, eh.
the concept with Paul, Triple H, is the fact that he has the health issues. That's the upsetting part. It's just like, it's not even like in his control. Like if he was there, it'd be like, what the fuck? Why are you screwing this guy out? He's been around. He's, yeah. Granted, he is
He's been doing that with a lot of NXT talent for years.
your wife's husband, but like it's your son-in-law. Yeah, okay, but like now he can't even like he can't do it from a hospital bed. Like
Yeah.
it's just so upsetting. Like he is one of the greats. He's gonna be one of the greats for forever.
Triple H.
Triple H. But like that's if Vince dies, like that company is fucked. I don't think Vince is really doing anything, but still, it's still the fact
Oh,
that
Vince
like
is doing a lot, bro.
is he?
I can't tell you how many times.
There was a meme where
He is absolutely poking his head into every single one.
I'm sure.
Storylines and everything.
Did you see the meme of they said that the way he looks now looks like one of the puppets from Land of Confusion by Genesis?
Yes.
It's
Looks
so
old as
fucking
shit.
stupid. But it's just the way his face is. Looks like a puppet.
Yeah.
He's starting to look like the puppet they had in the Firefly Funhouse back when they had that.
This is good shit.
Yeah. He's starting to look like that.
Did you ever see the John Cena Firefly Funhouse
Yeah.
match?
I
That was
watched it.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was
I
so much
didn't
fun.
understand at first because I was like, he wasn't in NWO, but I get what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah.
that was so much fun.
So yeah.
So much fun.
Something I liked this year, getting off of, I guess we've been talking about the releases for a while. I was to mention earlier. I did mention about Road Dogg. I think he'll come over to AEW just as a correspondence if they do hire him, because I don't think he'll wrestle over again. But I think he'll be over because Billy Gunn's a coach there, Road Dogg's a coach there. They could just help out,
Makes
do stuff
sense.
like that. But anyway, so by the way, side note: Shawn Michaels looks weird bald. So the fact that I loved, and we talked about this earlier, the women talent in AEW, it's not booked the best, but fucking they've been going in on each other pretty hard as far as hardcore matches, at least for the special events. The fucking tag team street fight I fucking loved. Besides the fact that
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah.
I didn't expect they were gonna go quite as far as they did.
I told you the story about how I wasn't watching, or I was watching it downstairs, and then went upstairs to go play something. I turned it on my computer, and I just see fucking Bunny's just fucking face all fucked up. I'm like, oh my god! I was like, who the fuck is this? I couldn't even tell who it was at first. I was like, who the fuck did they bust open? I'm like, oh, this is Bunny. I was like, holy shit! And I had to like watch the whole episode or the whole fight from the beginning. I was like, Jesus Christ!
The Bunny.
She's lovely, by the way. She has her I've been watching her vlog and whatnot. But they were saying
she's married.
Yeah, she was
to the blade.
Yeah, I didn't know that either because of what's his face, Ethan Page's thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no fucking clue. He's like, I was right behind him going, "That's your wife." I was like, oh wow, okay. But yeah, I love that he mentioned the split that she did because that wasn't on purpose. You could tell it wasn't on purpose. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, she's definitely got some thumbtacks in her hoo-ha, maybe.
Hoo-ha.
Yeah, her vagina.
Shark bait. Hoo-ha.
No, not that. Not shark bait.
Hoo-ha.
No, stop it. So yeah, the women really did surprise me this year. You're right. I think they do need to be booked a little better. I think who really needs a shot is Big Swole. Never mind, she's gone. Supposedly there's not the diversity thing. I don't want to get on that whole fucking rant. The diversity thing pissed me off. I mean, Tony Khan didn't take it well, but the fact that
yeah, I think he has because it happened like one other time. There was like somebody said something else about
they say
the
one
women's
bad
revolution or something, and he said something, and I was like, dude, you need to just stop. Like, I feel like he replies to some of the stuff, and like it doesn't put him in a great light when he tends to reply.
Someone says something bad, and he's Petey Pop off all of a sudden.
Yeah,
like,
he tends
fucking go off.
Yeah, he tends to like reply, and it tends to not go well.
There's people I was excited for this year. I always love Bobby Lashley. Leo Rush didn't show up for the last match for Dante Martin. They had him in the match card thing. They showed him behind. Didn't show up to the match.
So he no-showed. So like I was like, is he hurt?
They didn't say anything.
Like, yeah. Well, that's why I was like,
is he too busy on his rap album or his music
well,
career?
so that's why I thought he might be hurt because he just no-showed, and I was like, oh, maybe he's like legit injured, and they're like not sure what's up. So I don't know.
I looked into him and was like, oh, he has a music career as well. That's probably why he's so busy and never really shows up. He's a phenomenal wrestler. Him versus Adam Cole. Him versus Adam Cole was fantastic in Ring of Honor, I think it was. I watched them against each other in Ring of Honor, and that was great. Because I was like, I don't know who Leo Rush is. Who was that? And that was a great match. But the dude does crazy shit. Like, he's very, very athletic. And I'm like, why aren't they using this guy more? Not that it's their fault. It seems like he's never really there. Like, they made a big deal about him showing up, and then they never really kind of used him.
Yeah. Well, so he originally showed up in the
Double or Nothing?
Yeah, Double or Nothing in the Battle Royal, and he got hurt in the Battle Royal. Or maybe he got hurt like the week after. He got hurt, and that's why he wasn't there for a while. He was hurt, which is why he wasn't there for a while.
Yeah.
And whatever injury it was to his leg, and he wasn't sure if he was. I listened to him on a podcast, and he talked about how he, like at the time he was like rehabbing and stuff. He wasn't sure if he was going to come back. He was like, I might just let this kind of be my swan song, and I'll like focus on my rap career. So I don't know.
He's a great dude. Got great on the mic, great in the ring. I think he's great, but he's not really showing anything really in general anymore. So
yeah, I'm waiting for Omega to come back.
I didn't realize about.
And then we'll totally have Omega and the Bucks against Adam Cole and Red Dragon.
You think that's going to end up being?
I think that's what's going to happen. Yep.
I just realized I mentioned Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush, and they were both a thing at one point in WWE, and I forgot about that.
And he was like, "Look at that ass."
It's America's ass.
You don't know.
No.
He legit was like, "Look at Bobby's ass."
Oh.
I swear to God.
Okay, I'll have to look the clip up.
It was
later.
a thing. It was a thing.
And also like, there's like I said, so many people who came in that this year that I love watching now that I don't think I would ever give a chance. I mean, Daniel Bryan I never really watched to begin with, and I probably never really will watch. I mean, him and listen. No, don't freak out. Don't have a spasm. He's
What about
stroking
Daniel?
out.
What about Daniel Bryan versus Hangman Adam Page? There was 2 phenomenal matches.
They were great. I was
Daniel
just about to say
Bryan
that before you
versus-
went into a convulsion on your chair.
What about when he fought Omega and they did the half-hour draw?
That was good too. That was actually, I think, better than the other two. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I think I like that one better than the Hangman matches.
I even liked him when he fought all the members of Dark Order.
Yep, those were all good.
He's a good technical wrestler. I just don't find him amusing. He's a
Uh,
good wrestler. I just want to be like, yeah. Like,
Did you notice that? I didn't notice it right away, but I now notice it because I listened to a podcast that mentioned it, and they were like, "Hey, have you noticed that at the time he was like going through and beating people, and he was not winning with the same move every match?" And they were like, they're building him up as like someone who could legitimately beat you at any time with any move. Like he had won with a
Okay.
roll up, he won with his lapel lock, he won with the running knee, he won with the ankle pick.
yeah, he beat
and
that one Japanese guy with the running knee, didn't he?
Yeah, and so they were doing something where like he was winning with like 5 or 6 different moves, and that was like, oh shit, he could beat you at any time. It's not like WWE, or I shouldn't say WWE, because AEW does the same thing. It's not like regular wrestling where they're like they hit a signature move and they kick out, and the announcers are always like, oh my god, I can't believe he kicked out. I'm like, but he's never beaten anybody with that move. Like, yeah, it's a signature move, but he's never beaten anybody with that move. So like, why would I think he was going to beat
Most of the
him?
time, you hear Excalibur yell, "Oh my god, he's doing this lock," and then the guy taps out.
Yeah.
So,
It's just like it would be like it's like Hangman Page. Like he I don't know, he would do a moonsault and 1, 2 kick out and be like, oh my god, I can't believe he kicked out of that. It's like he's never beaten anybody with a moonsault. So like why did you think he was gonna beat him with a moonsault? He only beats people with the dead eye or the
that was the
buckshot
thing.
lariat.
That was the thing I didn't understand. Where it was like when all I saw was the buckshot. I was like, that's his move. He has to be outside the ring at all times. Just
Yeah.
like that's.
It's a cool
Like,
move.
okay. No, it is a cool move, but it's just like that. You can never have a wrestling move be your finisher that is based in using the ring in some way, because it's like, what if you're not in the ring?
Well, you can't use it then.
Exactly. It's kind
Maybe
of
he would do like the roll kip up thing and then hit him with the
That's the
clothesline.
reason why Ray kind of doesn't work that much, because the 619 can only be used in
What
the
about
ring.
what about when he was the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man?
That's the thing, like
That was the coolest thing ever.
that was the thing where I know that, like when I said Jim Cornette, when he says stuff, and I'm like, this is just because we're different, like we're different ages of him. He's back old school. You and me would think that's fucking awesome, but he would be like, that's fucking stupid.
It was so cool.
Blah blah blah. Kenny Omega Twinkle Toes.
Dude, the
whatever
fucking
fuck he calls him.
the pop he got when he took off the
that was great.
mask.
I wanted to send it to my brother. That's how cool it was.
It was so cool.
I will-
You also random,
no, go
random
ahead,
thing.
because I
Did
have
you
negative
see?
feedback.
Oh, did you see the first Stadium Stampede?
No.
Oh my god, we have to watch it together.
Okay.
Stadium Stampede was so good. Do you even know what it is?
No.
Okay. So it was birthed because of the pandemic. So they have the place in Jacksonville where they have that little like arena.
Daily Place.
The Daily Place, yeah. So they were doing the shows there, and so they set up at the
It's their
pay-per-view.
Daily Place.
It's their Daily Place.
Okay.
So they set up at the pay-per-view. It was going to be it was in May 2020. It was going to be the Inner Circle, and the Inner Circle were heroes
Mhm.
at the time. It was the Inner Circle against Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, the Young Bucks, and Matt Hardy.
Okay.
And
Wait, is this the field? Or
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
and they fucking fought all through the field.
They've done that with the other group, didn't they? Didn't they do it with Pinnacle?
Yeah,
Okay, no, I know what you're talking about. Then I didn't know that's what it was called.
yeah,
Okay.
and they fought through the whole. So you saw
Yeah.
the one with Kenny Omega in them.
I didn't see that one.
Oh.
I saw the one with Pinnacle.
We gotta watch that one.
Okay.
Fucking, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if you thought the Pinnacle one was good, this
I
one is
did.
like 10 times better.
I
Dude, let me
Okay.
tell you. Hangman Adam Page chases Sammy Guevara off the field riding a fucking horse. He legit charges across the field on a fucking
I
horse.
have to watch
It is the coolest fucking thing. I mean,
think-
and that is like not even the coolest thing that happens in that match.
I think the biggest joke I have, my favorite joke for Hangman Adam Page is the fact that he's cowboy shit from Virginia.
Hey, Virginia's for lovers and cowboys.
From Virginia, this guy is called the Cowboy.
He could. I
Cowboy
mean, maybe
shit.
he.
From Virginia.
Yeah, but he said that
no.
he lives on a farm.
His voice is such a cowboy. Like he has a perfect
yeah,
voice
yeah.
for a cowboy. Like his voice is so. It sounds like he should be a country singer, but I'm like, but he's from Virginia.
Yeah, but he grew up on a farm
That's fine.
with cattle and
Did he
shit.
kill a man before with a lasso?
Probably.
Yeehaw, rawhide.
Probably.
You want to hear my feedback that I don't like that
Yep.
I know you're
Mhm.
not gonna like?
Oh, it's great.
I kind of don't like the wrestling style of the Bucks
I thought you were gonna say you kind of don't like Orange Cassidy.
and Cole. Cole and the Bucks do a lot of fucking kicks,
Yep, I'm with you. No, I agree with
and
you.
I'm like,
It's
they
too
need
much.
to
I agree with you.
fucking... Lately, it's been less, but then again, Bucks haven't been in the ring lately, so
I agree with you.
I
I
love Orange
read.
Cassidy.
So I read.
Don't you ever fucking?
Okay, I was just checking.
I love Orange Cassidy.
I was afraid that's what you
His-
were gonna say.
His gimmick, listen, the only thing I don't like about him is the Superman punch, orange punch, whatever, because I think that's a stupid move in general. Roman
Yeah.
Reigns, I think it's stupid too. Like both people
Yeah.
having that is stupid.
I
I
did
like
you ever
Beach
hear?
Break, but
Did
go
you
ahead.
did you ever hear Jericho on his podcast? The one time he was talking about it.
Yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah,
the
and
other
he's
day.
like, "This is stupid," and then he was like, "It's getting over," and then he's like, "Why the fuck didn't I think of this?" Like, he's like, "I barely would have to do anything, and I would be so popular."
yeah, but
This guy's a genius.
I forget who brought it up, but I was like, yeah,
No, I agree.
Young Bucks, they do
Too many kicks.
Now, granted, Lucha Brothers versus them at what was it?
Oh, all out.
Yeah, that was fucking great. I loved
Mhm.
that match, and I don't like either of those teams, but I don't.
I love both those teams.
They're not
Fuck
my
you.
favorite teams. Sorry. Don't make it seem like I
Don't-
don't like them.
Okay,
I think they're both great in their own right. They're not my favorite teams.
I got you.
I'm Jurassic Express all the way,
All the way, baby.
and there's another team. I don't mind the Acclaim. Like the Acclaim is great, but I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna follow them with every match.
I like the Acclaim's alright.
My favorite is Bowens when he yells whatever place, and then the Acclaim has a. That's my favorite
The
part.
Acclaim has arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that part too. And then they do that thing that I can't believe they let them do. The
What
like
do you mean, the
scissoring.
scissoring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, how are
'Cause
they?
it-
How are
'cause
they
it-
allowed to do that?
The best was that first Max would do it, and Anthony would be like, "No,
Yeah,
what are you
he tried
doing?"
to not let him do it.
And then eventually they just go, "Ah," like they both do it, no problem.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
There's a great group of tag teams all over that place.
So did you hear why they so why it's like the super kick party and all that stuff?
No.
So
No, I have
they were on the indies, and there was like all these like wrestling gurus and people that were like, you know, like older like people, you guys use too many kicks, too many super kicks, blah blah blah. So they were like, well, everything we've done our entire careers is against the grain, so
Just kick more.
why don't we? Yeah, literally, they were like, why don't we kick more? Like, if it's pissing everybody off and it's making them talk about us, we're just gonna kick more. And now when we do it in our matches, they don't really yell it out right now anymore. And I think it's because they're heels. But they would yell at like super kick party and then start doing it.
Okay.
So then like you get the crowd into it. And
Well,
so they were like, oh yeah, like basically they were like, oh, if it's pissing off these old timers and it's making them talk about us, so now other people are like, who are these young buck guys? And they
Yeah.
look us up, we're just gonna keep doing it.
The one thing that I did realize, they interviewed Taker, and he was saying how he's like, I did like them at first. He said, and then I realized they pretty much are doing the same thing every,
Yeah.
almost like a performance, and it's just like it gets kind of old after a while. I'm like, it's true, but like it's the fact that like I think they're a good team. It's just like, yeah, it's true though. They fucking do a lot of the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, which I think works if it's not constant. If they're wrestling consistently every week, then like yeah, it can get old. If they're doing what they're doing now, where they're only going to wrestle like once a month or something, then I feel like it doesn't get old as quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like that was also part of the thing with like bring it back to Bray Wyatt, right? Like his character with the swamp leader,
Mhm.
cult leader, was amazing. The problem was that they would put him on TV every week with no real direction, and they were just like, yeah, talk for, talk, and he would talk, and
Talk about
like,
some weird shit.
yeah, like there was no it needed a direction, it needed a reason to connect,
Really,
it needed
really
all
creep
that. It
people
was
out.
yeah. So I think that was part of it.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like if he had long forum talks, maybe only once every 3 weeks, then it doesn't get old.
I think a lot of people are very creative, but I don't think either they're suppressed and not able to do that, or
Most of the time, it's that they're not able to do that in WWE.
I was gonna say, or they're not very good wrestlers.
Right.
Because you can be creative and not be a good wrestler. Like you
Yeah,
could have,
and that doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful.
yeah, it's also true.
There have been
Like Orange Cassidy could be dog shit at wrestling, but his gimmick still works because
Yeah.
he's athletic enough to fucking jump around and have his hands in his pockets the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All
All right, should we round this one out?
Yeah. In summary, WWE had a lot of releases, and AEW had a lot of good stuff going on. Whether it's female wrestling, whether it's just in general people showing up. I think that was the biggest thing for 2021.
Yeah, I will say that I enjoy watching AEW. I don't really enjoy watching WWE right now.
Yeah, I mean we've established that even with the last episode, but I think the concept of now going into 2022, I think to wrap up, I think the concept of they need to keep it consistent. They need to make. I have a question for you. Do you think that they need another show?
Who?
AEW. Well, they have
No.
Granted, they have 4 shows, but only 2 of them matter. To be honest, like the Dark and Elevation, they don't really care too much.
So I think I also think Dark and Elevation secretly count, and they just aren't telling people.
Well,
So I think they use Dark and Elevation to give certain, like they want certain tag teams to like if they're like, oh, the next challengers we want to be the Jungle or the Jurassic Express. They're on Dark and Elevation every week picking up a win, so then they are magically when they're ready for the tag, they're magically in the top 5. So I think Dark and Elevation count, but they like pretend to not tell the audience they count.
Mhm.
So that way the audience doesn't pick up on the fact that they just throw.
The numbers definitely do count. I had an argument with someone about Powerhouse Hobbs, and they were saying how he's not getting picked up, or he's not getting wins because he's black and he's not getting the opportunity. And I went and did the research and argued. I'm like, he has had, it was like 28 and something win record.
Right.
And I was like, not to mention his last win
No,
is
the
going to
numbers.
be.
The numbers. So the numbers matter.
No,
I think
I know.
the show Dark and Elevation are both used to look at some new talent. They're also used to give specific talent easy wins.
Yeah.
So that way they can get into the top 5, so they can use them the way
What's I
they
mean,
want to
like
use them.
the number stuff.
Right.
But as I'm saying, like I think that show, both shows work. Dark is probably the best one out of the 2 of them.
Yeah. So I would say because they have 4 shows, no.
Yeah.
If it was that they wanted to do another show, then I would say you need to take either Dark or Elevation and make it more important.
Do you think they? I was gonna say, like, do you think they'd move Dynamite to Mondays? That'd be fucking crazy.
No, I don't think they would.
You don't think if they had another show, and they had to put it somewhere, don't you think they'd move? Like, I think that they would move Dynamite to Monday if they had to move somewhere.
Right. If they had to move somewhere, yes.
It's dangerous.
I don't think it's a good idea.
No, yeah, I'm the same way, but I think it's give it time. I think it'll eventually have a show on. Like, they're going to eventually challenge him, not on purpose, but I think
if they do, they have to be careful of a criticism that I have of Dynamite right now.
which is
I have 2 main criticisms. One is that there are certain weeks where it feels like there's way too much happening.
yeah, that was this most recent week, wasn't
Yes.
it?
This past week, it feels like there's way too much happening. I couldn't, I could keep up with it. I understand everything that's going on because I'm a hardcore fan.
It's
But
just
I
too
think there are
much.
certain weeks
Yeah.
where there's way too much happening.
No, I understand.
My other main criticism that I think will turn off a more mainstream audience, and maybe it won't, maybe it will, I don't know, is I feel like, and it doesn't happen every week, but I feel like there's a lot of times where they fall way too much into the hole of, I think it's cool that there are so many factions in AEW.
Mhm.
I think it's really cool. But I think they fall way too often into the bucket of like, hey, this match happened, and then this match is over, and now the faction is beating up this other faction. Now the other faction runs out, and like there's way too much of like,
Yeah.
okay, the match is over. Now let pandemonium happen, and everybody's got to jump everybody.
Yeah.
After every match.
I get you.
Like like if you watch, it happens more often than not.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big turnoff.
Well, I think I mean, that is a good point. I think
Those are my two main. I mean, I have other like minor
they're
criticisms. Those are my
valid,
two
though.
main
They're
criticisms.
valid, I think.
There's some weeks where there's way too much happening, and then there's other weeks where, and there's also weeks where there's way too much like after match, everybody jump in the ring, beat them up.
Yeah. So you didn't watch Rampage this week?
I watched the Lucha or the Jurassic Express tag match.
So yeah, Jay Lethal. I want to just elaborate on what happened on Rampage, and then I want to ask you about where do you think certain people are going, where they're going to be this year. Like, what do you hope for them this year? And then we'll just cut it off there because I know what are we at now?
About an hour and a half.
You have to do that so close to the
That was
mic.
really close. I didn't. Well, I'm on wheels. I didn't mean to roll that
Okay.
close.
So yeah, I'm excited because Jay Lethal does seem like he's getting a push towards dealing with Team Taz, and I'm sure Dante Martin will be as well. But I'm trying to think of what else happened. Adam Cole versus Trent, and the only thing that I noticeably had because for one, Trent lost, of course, because is Adam Cole undefeated? His numbers are high.
Yes. Well, also the numbers reset at the beginning of every.
Well, yeah, but still he hasn't really lost that.
Correct. Adam Cole's undefeated.
Which is the main first name I wanted to give you. But so the one noticeable thing that I thought was funny was that Britt Baker was ringside. All of them, both groups were at ringside.
Yeah.
But Britt Baker yelled at one point when Trent was up on the turnbuckle punching Adam Cole. She said, "You're mad that you don't have hair," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I definitely everyone heard that. Like it was one of those things where you could hear very and it was a girl. It wasn't like you could hear one of the young bucks say it. It was definitely Britt Baker who said it. Like she was getting all up in like an actual girlfriend, like getting all up in someone's face about it, as he's fighting the guy.
Yeah.
But I thought that was funny. But anyway, the one person I think is like Adam Cole. Like, where does he go?
I think Adam Cole goes into a big rivalry with Kenny Omega.
Really?
This year, yep. I think Kenny Omega. I get vibes. I don't know. I feel like we're building to because of the way the Young Bucks are interacting with Red Dragon. I think we're building towards maybe it All Out, a 6-man tag.
Okay.
Cole and Dragon.
I have a question, and I would move on to
Omega.
someone else, but I want to ask you TNT or AEW title for him if Adam Cole were to go for one.
I think he would. I feel like he'd go for the AEW championship. I don't know that he wins it.
Okay.
Because
I feel like at that point you should just give him a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know how we have a guy who did a moonsault, hurt himself, and then now all of a sudden he's the number one contender.
Well, they didn't say he was number one contender. He just attacked the champion, bro. Also remember,
I'm
bro.
giving him a face right now, just so you guys
remember,
know.
the ratings reset. He's 0-0.
He's 0-0. That's less of a reason to
He could. I bet you. I was about to say. I bet you he's on like Dark and Elevation. He starts picking up wins.
Probably.
Like real quick wins,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
all of a sudden he'll be number one in the ranks
Yeah,
in like
yeah.
3 or 4 weeks. Watch. It's like Goldberg. He wasn't really 178-0.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Don't you offend my God.
I still think MJF's the guy who dethrones Hangman.
Okay. I didn't ask MJF yet, but I was gonna go to the next person.
Oh,
Dante
sorry.
Martin. Where do you think he's gonna be?
Uh,
I hope his brother comes
yeah,
back and
I
they go
would
for tag team titles.
yeah, I feel like that's where he goes.
But I think we're just
Wait
waiting.
for the bro.
I think isn't he back? Like he's good. I've seen him on Sammy
I don't know.
Guevara's. I've seen him on either Sammy or Ethan Page's vlog.
Oh, have you?
Upright, not he seems fine, ready
That's
to
good.
go. But I'm
That's
like,
good.
when are they
That's
gonna
good.
introduce him? So anyway, so yeah, the next one would probably be that's a perfect example. MJF.
Yep, I think MJF's the guy who dethrones Hangman.
You think he's gonna get the AEW title by the end?
Yep.
At least in this year.
Yeah. Or if it's not this year, maybe it's early next year, but I'll leave it at that. MJF is the guy who like maybe Hangman Page has a longer than a 1 year title reign.
Yeah.
I think MJF's the guy who dethrones him though.
Okay. Where do you think, on that note, going to Wardlow, do you think that's going to be MJF, him dealing with MJF? Because we know it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, people keep saying he's going to deal with Spears first, which I'm fine with. If he's going to break off and deal with Spears and then deal with MJF, I don't care.
Yeah, possibly.
But
yeah, Wardlow definitely breaks off and fights MJF at some point this year.
I know it's stupid to think, but like I think with all the people who are on a streak, undefeated streak, I think, well, I mean, I guess not Wardlow now,
Nope.
but I think that they deserve a title. And I know that's stupid for thinking because they don't really need a title, but the concept of like how far do you go before you just like, if you have more wins than a champion, then why are you not going?
Well, you should be wrestling more. If you're not the champion, you should be wrestling more often than the champion.
That's true.
Because you need to
That's
build up to fight the champion.
Issue I've had, but who do you think would be a good? Because I was gonna go to Hangman Adam Page. Who do you think he should be fighting this year?
Obviously he's gonna fight Lance Archer. I think he needs some big time opponents.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be a title match in there for Punk.
I wouldn't mind that. Even if he loses, I don't really care.
I see Hangman beating Punk. Maybe they do it at All Out because All Out seems to always be in Chicago.
That would be bad. They'd start throwing shit. I mean, yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like he fights. Maybe he fights Adam Cole.
The thing
I
with
could
me,
see Adam Cole.
The thing with me is I need him to wrestle more. That's why I was happy to see him on Dark. I was like, I need to see you wrestle more if you're gonna be the champion.
So I like they don't do it with all of their championships, but especially with their main championships, the Women's Championship and the AEW World Championship. The champion doesn't like wrestle constantly, and I tend to like
that. Which is
that.
fine. I just need matches occasionally. Like when he was on Dark, I was like, oh cool, he's in a trios tag match. That's great. I don't need him to be challenged, like fighting for the title.
Makes sense.
I just want him to be wrestling more.
Makes sense.
Because I'm like, I barely seen this guy. How is he the like?
Well, I think part of it was on purpose, right? Because they wanted Daniel Bryan to be able to like say to him like, I've been wrestling here every week. What have you been doing sitting on your ass?
True.
It was a play. It was a play.
I got you. Because he did start wrestling right after his match with.
Yeah, it was a total. They wanted to use it for storyline.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sorry.
I think I think he defends.
You can beat me later.
I think he defends against Punk at some point this year. I think he defends against Adam Cole at some point this year.
But you think it's gonna be MJF?
I think MJF dethrones him.
Okay. We talked about Adam Cole. We talked about Dante Martin. Do you see DMD losing her title at all this week, or this year?
Yes.
To who?
That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to. I really don't know, but I don't feel like she has a reign through the whole year.
Who do you want? Who do you?
I think Thunder Rosa would make sense.
Oh my god, yes. I didn't even think of her. I was going to say Soho or Statlander, but I was like, yep. No,
I could see either one of those.
Rosa would probably be the best option, I think.
Yeah, I could see them. I see them going back to that rivalry and having Thunder Rosa be the one that dethrones.
I think the Lights Out match, and she's mentioned it. Thunder Rosa has mentioned it, that I think the lights out match didn't give her the push that she really deserved too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people forgot that she was in that match. They were like, oh, Britt Baker, but she made it good as well. So
Yeah, I think. I mean,
I
if I had to
think
pick
that's
somebody on the
perfect.
roster, I think that's who it is.
yeah, I think that's perfect.
I don't know
think
who else would dethrone her, to be honest, right now.
I completely agree with you. I didn't even think of Thunder Rosa, but trying to think of who else. Okay, I'll go with the last title that we haven't talked about. But where do you think? No, I guess we'll go through the TNT as well. But Jurassic Express. Do you see them?
I think they win for a little while.
Excuse me.
And then I think they lose to Aleister Black and Brody King.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's my prediction. Jurassic. I mean, and I'm not saying it's going to happen right away. I'm saying like
It's a prediction.
yeah.
I mean, it's just a.
a couple months down the line. I think that's who dethrones them, though.
You
Brody
think?
King and Aleister.
That's not bad. I would think it was a tag team that was been around like.
Well, they were. I think they were a tag team before Aleister went to WWE.
Yeah. They're in what, Ring of Honor?
Either that or PWG.
Yeah, one of those. But yeah, no, I would just think that like a tag team that have been with them for a while. Like, I can't think of one off the top of my head because the Lucha Brothers already had it. FTR is another one I think of, but I'm like they have it as well. They've had it as well. I'm trying to think of a different team that.
Well, it looks like they could do the Acclaimed.
Acclaim wouldn't be
Sting
bad.
and Darby Allin.
Yeah, that would require Sting to wrestle though. So
I mean, he wrestles.
he's had 6 matches since he's been in AEW.
I always thought so. I legit thought that All Out was going to be before the whole like Punk thing and all
You thought
that.
it was gonna be Sting versus
I thought it
Punk?
was going to be I thought it was going to be Sting and Darby Allin against the Young Bucks for the tag titles.
Okay.
Because at the time, Sting and Darby Allin were undefeated as a tag team. They were like
They
3
still
or
are.
4-0.
I think.
Yeah, they still are. And before the whole Punk thing, I was like, I think they're like legit because like, and the fact that the Young Bucks like jump all over the place, they could create a lot of motion around
Plus-
Sting, who can't do that.
Plus, you didn't see CM Punk coming in, so.
Yes, and I didn't see CM Punk coming in.
Why not just give the tag team titles to? I'll go ahead and say it, the Ass Boys.
Oh, the S Boys. Brown.
Do you think? Okay, so we'll talk about the TNT title, but real quick because it just came to mind. Do you think Danhausen's gonna come out gonna be all elite this year, or at all?
Maybe.
The way
I
you
don't
made
know.
that face, you're like, I don't know.
I mean, I could see it.
He's not bad. Like I've watched him fight.
No,
people,
I could
but
see it.
his gimmick is really
I just
weird.
legitimately don't know.
He's a very weird gimmick. Like it's very strange. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like like we've seen like evil people, but this is like a silly evil person, which is the weird part.
When I'm watching him on YouTube, I find that he's really entertaining, and then there's like a certain mark, like I don't know if it's like the 10-minute mark or whatever, but like after a certain amount of time, he's no longer entertaining anymore. He's annoying.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think it's like it gets old after a while.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good character. Like on the mic, he'd be great. But like I'm like, is his wrestling gonna be people are gonna think that's worth having
Right.
him in AEW?
Right.
But yeah, people keep talking about it. I just think because of the crossover between the Ass Boys and whatnot, I think that'd be funny. Like a tag team between Billy Gunn and Danhausen versus his own sons. But yeah, that's just something I thought about because that's one of the things that people always talk about. They've even asked Tony Khan, when is Danhausen coming to AEW? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm shooting myself for Jeff Hardy this year, for sure. I'm going to say that Jeff Hardy is going to be
I would agree.
a this year thing. If there's
I would
anybody
agree.
that I could find that will be a set thing, it's Jeff Hardy this year.
I agree.
By the end of this year, at least.
I legit thought Samoa Joe was coming out on Wednesday, before it was Lance Archer.
Oh, okay.
I legit thought it was going to be Joe.
That would be a little
I
crazy.
thought because what's his name, the guy was Dan Lambert,
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, you're not gonna fight Scorpio Sky or Ethan Page, and I was like, oh shit, he's about to say, you're gonna fight my latest signing,
Yeah.
and it was gonna be Joe. Oh well.
I would love to see Samoa Joe, but I don't see any.
I don't
kind
know
of
that
reason
Joe
behind
will
it.
ever wrestle again, to be honest. Maybe he will, maybe he
I
won't.
think if they do, they're definitely going to hint at it. I think they're gonna hint at Jeff Hardy because he's a big name, and I think they're gonna hint at Samoa Joe because he's a big name. But anyway, TNT title we'll talk about because right now they got interim Sammy Guevara.
I have no idea what they're doing with this, or what's going to happen with this championship.
When's they announced I think last night that
Cody Rhodes is going to be back next week.
Mm-hmm. Was it say on Dynamite or Rampage?
Dynamite, I think.
Okay.
So at some point they're going to have a champion versus interim champion consolidation match.
So I think that's just because of protocol. I think it's just going to be fucking Sammy over again. Not fucking Sammy over.
Probably.
I think
I want Cody Rhodes to turn heel.
Everyone does.
I don't know. I don't feel like he's doing anything as a babyface. I don't feel like he's doing anything as a babyface.
I don't even think he is. I didn't think he was a babyface, but
I mean before when for a while he was doing really good babyface stuff, and he was a babyface. Like he was really over as a babyface for a while.
I know he's a good heel.
I think there was one. So here's what I think happened.
I couldn't think of the name. Stardust.
So here's what I think happened. I think he went against Aleister Black. And because Aleister Black had been released, everybody wanted to see Aleister Black do well, and they wanted to see Aleister Black win. And they
were cheering him even when he was supposed to be the heel.
Correct. And then I think it became cool to boo Cody Rhodes. I think that's where it's at now.
I mean, it is pretty cool to boo.
But I mean, they're not booing it. I mean, maybe it has changed to that where they're booing them because they don't like him. But I think at first it's not that they were booing them because they didn't like him. It was because they wanted to cheer Aleister.
Yeah.
And so it was popular to boo Cody Rhodes because it was popular to cheer Aleister.
See.
And then it turned into, oh wait, we don't like you as a babyface. I don't think it started as,
oh, we don't like you.
I don't think it started as, we don't like you as a babyface, so we're gonna boo you.
Me personally, coming in August, for me it was, he seems like just a money guy, like the big celebrity superstar, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that concept.
I think that's how it started. And if I were to go back in time, maybe that's not true, but I feel like that's how it started with Cena too. It became cool to boo him, which then in turn led to everybody actually disliking him. And I feel like that's where it was with Cody, where it became cool to boo him, and now they actually dislike him.
I think of Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Cody Rhodes now and John Cena when he was getting up in popularity, like vanilla ice cream. I don't find them fun. I like mint chocolate chip. I like a little bit of flavor in that.
I felt like Cody Rhodes is best
with some caramel.
I felt like his best was when he was playing the heel against his brother Dustin for the first Double or Nothing, and the promos about I'm the new generation and I need to take the old generation out to the woodshed and just put a bullet in its head and end it. I feel like that was the best Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I will also say I was super into Cody Rhodes when he fought against Anthony Ogogo, because they got me hook, line, and sinker. Anthony Ogogo is British, and so he was anti-American, and Cody Rhodes.
They were doing a Rocky setup,
and so Cody Rhodes was for this, I'm doing this. He had this whole impassioned promo where he said, "I'm invoking something that only me and my brother can invoke for one night only, instead of announcing me as the American Nightmare. I'm gonna come out and they're gonna announce me as the American Dream." Invoking his
I don't think I've even seen that promo.
No, it was good.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, that had me because of what it meant.
Yeah, the concept of him being I know he's capable of it all, but even that when you said that promo with the British versus America, it almost seems like most of the shit that WWE does was a Rusev versus John Cena, or Sergeant Slaughter versus Iron Sheik, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the only reason they brought that into it was because they wanted Cody to have the promo where he could say and be the American Dream.
Fucking America, hell yeah! Like that kind of bullshit. Like Hulk Hogan. Yeah, hell yeah, brother.
You know
These
he's an
colors don't bleed.
You know he's an anti-vaxxer.
Who?
Hulk Hogan.
I'm not surprised.
He apparently said something about he thinks the vaccine is what killed Bob Saget.
Makes you gay.
It does?
Yeah. Super gay. We're both super
I'm
gay.
super gay
We're
now.
both super gay. Not giving
Somebody
away
should tell
our
my fiance.
not give away our vaccination information, but we are both super gay.
But my PIN number is
no.
176. My vaccination PIN number.
We were both super gay.
Yep.
I think that's it. I think that's a good way to leave it off. Talk about being gay and the Hulk.
All right.
And yeah, if you guys are watching this on my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that bell and all that good stuff. As one of my people that I play games with, Jake, says, smash that subscribe button with your penis. Just take it, like if you have a tablet or something, just swap it. Just whap your penis right on the. If you don't have a penis, I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out. Figure it out, ma'am. That.
Did you hear that? That was my penis on the table.
Put it away, Kibbles. Jesus. I thought it was weird when you just whipped it out. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, the thing.
The thing. I was just talking about it.
So, I'm still on. Someone should tell my fiance that I'm gay. So yeah, and if you're listening on any other stuff, don't forget to give us a review because, as they say, if you have nothing to say, don't say anything.
That's not what they say.
I'm making a thing because legitimately it was a mess up, but I'm just gonna keep on saying
what they say.
Give us a review.
Who's they, by the way?
Give us a like.
If you're listening on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, please give us a like and subscribe.
Yeah.
It sounded very professional.
And you know what they say.
It's not what they say. So if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all.
Oh, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah, or maybe
Shit.
it's if you don't have anything nice to say. One of the two.
Hmm.
Just remember, do what Freddie Mercury's father said. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you should live your life.
I always like to say, and I'm going to end this the way I end most of my party chats in Xbox, and how I've learned from someone I look up to, Kevin Pereira. If you want to sign off, I like to sign off with kisses, hugs, and belly rubs. And
Goodbye.
That's it. Goodbye. Thank you. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'll have Kibbles toot it for me. Kibbles, who was one of the first who was the first backer of CM Punk?
Who was? Oh, you mean
out of our friends group.
Out of our friends group. It was probably you.
Thank you. That is correct, Senator. That was.
I thought, yeah. I remember when he started, I was like, this guy's kind of cool, but I don't